In every society, in every culture, in every community, there's a rule everyone knows. Kindness earns respect. Be soft-hearted. Be gentle. Be compassionate. Treat people well, and they'll treat you well in return. That's what we are taught from childhood. That's what every moral system promises. Goodness begets goodness. Compassion creates compassion. Softness is strength. That's the rule. Or so they were told. Until they learned the harder truth, the world doesn't actually work that way. And by the time most soft-hearted people figure this out, they've already been conditioned to believe that the problem is them, not the rule. From the earliest age, we are taught the visible rules of human decency. Be kind to others. Treat people with gentleness. Lead with compassion. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Turn the other cheek. Kill them with kindness. Every religious tradition, every philosophical system, every parent and teacher reinforces the same message. Soft-heartedness is a virtue. Gentleness is noble. Compassion is what separates the civilized from the barbaric. And there's truth in this. Societies function better when people are kind. Relationships deepen through empathy. Communities thrive on mutual care. The soft-hearted person seems to understand something the harsh world has forgotten, that we are all human, all struggling, all deserving of grace. They give people the benefit of the doubt. They forgive easily. They assume good intentions. They absorb others' pain without complaint. They're the ones who listen without judgment, who help without keeping score, who love without conditions. From the outside, they appear enlightened, evolved, operating from a higher moral plane than those who are guarded, skeptical, self-protective. They're so kind. They have such a big heart. They see the good in everyone. These statements are delivered with admiration, with respect, and the soft-hearted person hears them and feels validated. See, the rule is working. Kindness does earn respect, but then something happens that doesn't fit the rule. Someone takes advantage of their kindness. Someone mistakes their gentleness for weakness. Someone interprets their compassion as an invitation to use them. And instead of defending themselves, the soft-hearted person gives more kindness. Because that's what the rule says to do. Be softer. Be more understanding. Give more grace. Surely if they're kind enough, compassionate enough, gentle enough, people will eventually respond with respect. But they don't. And that's when the soft-hearted person starts to learn. There's another rule. An invisible one. One nobody teaches you directly. Here's the hidden rule. People don't respect softness. They respect boundaries. And soft-heartedness without boundaries isn't virtue. It's vulnerability waiting to be exploited. This is the rule nobody tells you because it contradicts everything you've been taught about morality. But it's true. Human beings, even good human beings, are wired to test limits, to push boundaries, to see how much they can take. Not out of malice necessarily, but out of human nature. And when they encounter someone who has no boundaries, someone whose softness extends infinitely, someone who will absorb any amount of disrespect without pushing back, they don't respect that person more. They respect them less. Because softness without self-protection signals something at a primal level. This person doesn't value themselves. And if you don't value yourself, why should anyone else? The soft-hearted person thinks they're demonstrating maturity by not reacting to disrespect. They think they're showing strength by absorbing others' cruelty without complaint. They think they're being the bigger person by forgiving before an apology is even offered. But to everyone around them, it looks like something else entirely. Weakness. Doormat behavior. Someone who can be treated carelessly because they'll accept it. The hidden rule operates on 3 levels that the soft-hearted person never sees coming. First, softness without consequences is interpreted as permission. When you're endlessly forgiving, people don't think, wow, they're so compassionate. They think, I can get away with this. When you're endlessly accommodating, people don't think they're so generous. They think, they don't have boundaries I need to respect. Your kindness becomes their permission slip. To be late. To be careless. To be selfish. To treat you in ways they'd never treat someone who'd call them out. Second, soft-heartedness gets confused with low standards. People respect those who have standards and enforce them. Someone who tolerates everything appears to stand for nothing. When you accept poor treatment with grace and understanding, people don't admire your grace. They assume you don't know your worth. And they treat you accordingly. Third, Compassion without reciprocity creates contempt. This is the cruelest part of the hidden rule. When you consistently give more than you receive, when you consistently forgive more than you're apologized to, when you consistently accommodate more than you're accommodated, people don't feel grateful. They feel uncomfortable, then superior, then contemptuous. Because your one-sided compassion makes them feel either guilty, which they resent, or superior, which breeds contempt. Either way, they don't respect you more. They respect you less. She learned this rule the hard way. She'd always been the soft-hearted one. In her family, she was the peacemaker, the one who absorbed everyone's anger so fights wouldn't escalate. In her friendships, she was the understanding one, the one who forgave betrayals, who made excuses for bad behavior, who gave endless chances. At work, she was the accommodating one, the one who took on extra work without complaint, who smoothed over conflicts, who never pushed back. She thought this made her valuable, respected, loved. Instead, it made her invisible. Her family vented to her but never asked how she was doing. Her friends called when they needed something but were mysteriously busy when she needed support. Her colleagues dumped work on her and got promoted while she stayed in the same position. Because she'd violated the invisible rule. She'd been soft without being strong, kind without being boundaried, compassionate without demanding reciprocity. And the punishment for breaking this rule is brutal. You become everyone's emotional dumping ground and no one's priority. You become the person people come to when they need something and avoid when they don't. You become valuable for what you provide but not valued for who you are. The soft-hearted person thinks if they just give a little more kindness, show a little more understanding, extend a little more grace, surely people will recognize their worth. But it doesn't work that way. Because the disrespect isn't a misunderstanding. It's a direct response to violating the invisible rule. Respect requires boundaries. This invisible rule, that softness without boundaries invites disrespect, shapes everyone you know into one of two categories. Those who learned the rule early and built boundaries into their kindness, and those who learned the rule too late, after years of being used, and are now struggling to rebuild. Look around. You know both types. The person who's genuinely kind but has clear limits, who helps generously but not endlessly, who forgives but doesn't forget, who's soft-hearted but not soft-boundaried. People respect them, not despite their kindness, because their kindness comes with self-respect attached. They've learned to integrate the visible rule, be kind, with the invisible rule, have boundaries. Then there's the soft-hearted person who hasn't learned yet, who gives and gives and gives, who absorbs and absorbs and absorbs, who forgives and forgives and forgives, and wonders why people keep taking advantage of them, why their kindness isn't reciprocated, why the more they give, the less they're valued. They're still operating under the visible rule alone, be kind, and people will respect you. They haven't learned the invisible rule, be kind, but show people where your limits are, or they'll use your kindness against you. We live in a culture that celebrates soft-heartedness without teaching the invisible rule. Social media rewards performative kindness, empathy without boundaries, understanding without accountability. Be kind. Choose love. Spread positivity. All true, all good, all incomplete. Because kindness without boundaries doesn't actually help anyone. It enables poor behavior. It teaches people they don't need to be accountable. It creates relationships where one person gives everything and the other person learns to take. The soft-hearted person thinks they're being evolved, compassionate, morally superior. They're actually being naive. And the world punishes naivety, not out of cruelty, but out of the simple reality that human beings take what's freely offered until they encounter a boundary. Here's what the soft-hearted person needs to learn. You can be kind and have boundaries. You can be compassionate and expect reciprocity. You can be gentle and still defend yourself. You can have a soft heart and a strong spine. These things aren't contradictory. They are complementary. The most respected people aren't the hardest or the softest. They're the ones who've integrated both, kind but boundaried, gentle but firm, compassionate but not easily exploited. They've learned the invisible rule. Respect isn't earned through endless giving. It's earned through self-respect that teaches others how to treat you. When you're soft-hearted without boundaries, you're training people to disrespect you. Not intentionally, but effectively. You're teaching them that your time has no value because you give it freely without consideration. That your energy has no limits because you never say you're depleted. That your feelings don't matter because you never express when you're hurt. That your standards are negotiable because you accept whatever they give. And people believe what you teach them. If you teach them you're a doormat, they'll wipe their feet on you. Not because they're bad people, because you've shown them that's acceptable. The invisible rule is this: soft-heartedness is beautiful when it's boundaried, dangerous when it's not. The world will either respect your kindness or exploit it. And the difference between those two outcomes isn't how kind you are. It's whether you've learned to pair your softness with strength, your compassion with consequences, your gentleness with limits that protect it from being weaponized against you. People disrespect the soft-hearted not because they're cruel, but because soft-heartedness without boundaries is an invitation to do so. And most people will accept invitations they're given, even the good ones.